Hello world of YouTube, and welcome to a first of 4 lists, end of the year lists for 2012. And I know what you're thinking, why are you coming out in 2013? I know it's the 10th, but if you had seen my update video for January, you knew that I was going to be doing this because I wanted to get these done before I did any other filming projects, endeavors of sorts. And I figured I'd do this now before I got really caught up and consumed with schoolwork and such. So let's go ahead and run down this list. The first one I'm doing is EPs, and I honestly didn't get as many EPs last year as I thought I did, because upon looking through all my music, I realized I can't put a top 11 together. So I'm doing a top 5, and before I get into the list, I do want to mention 2 EPs that came out from a friend of mine, Mack. I didn't put them on the list, but they are good. They're good springboards. I do have technical issues with them, but he's still starting out, so I can't flack him too much for it. He's a younger guy doing music. You know, he's getting his feet wet in music. So I don't want to discourage him from continuing to make music. Most of the issues I had could be fixed with continuous recordings and such, finding your groove when making music. And they're still good from a musical perspective. I don't think that they're bad by any sense. I just didn't put them on the list. And those EPs are Companion and Sorely Missed. Sorely Missed, which came out around Christmas time, it was fairly recently released, and both of them have different elements to them, somewhat similar in some aspects, but Companion is more of a solemnly driven acoustic EP, while Sorely Missed has some acoustic elements that were on Companion, but with a more poppier electronic vibe. And both, again, are good, but I couldn't bring myself to put them on this list. Sorry, Mac. But I do think you should check them out. I will link his Bandcamp below if you would like to check them out for yourself. And I do give them my endorsement. I do think that you should check them out and listen to them and all that such. But, anyway, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The list. In at number 5, I'm putting Tech Nine's Clusterfuck, which I reviewed back when it came out. And the more I listened to this thing, the more I started to like some of the songs that I didn't like Awkward and Blur. But I also found myself finding different nitpicks with it that I didn't like, such as the continuous dialogues that took up maybe a quarter of the songs. I wanted to hear more of Tech spinning and less what could have been essentially interludes. But I even started to like the production even more, which I did praise. I do like Mayday's production on this thing, but even like the wubbiness of Blur kind of just became not that much of an agonizing thing to listen to the more I listened to it. And yeah, I like this thing, but not as much as I did when it first came out. And at number 4 is the EP Watsky Modi by Watsky Modi. And this thing is a combination of bluegrass, folk rock, and hip-hop. It is Watsky and his merry band of friends throwing together some original stuff along with some adaptations of classic songs like Mrs. Robinson and In Constant Sorrow, but throwing in some original stuff like Kick Monday and the tail end tracks, Watsky at the Whatever and Watsky at the Whatever. And it's still a good EP. I still really love this thing. It definitely started to get stale the more I listened to it, but I still like the ambition that Watsky had going into this thing, and I love Watsky. You're going to hear him throughout a couple of these other lists, and I'm excited for Watsky's future, and I do like this thing. I hope that he brings in some of the styles of this with future releases, because I do like it. I think it's a good direction for him to take in some aspects, and overall, yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a good EP. And at number 3 is Toxic Waste, a split EP of Municipal Waste and Toxic Holocaust. I had never talked about this album. I've talked about the first 2. I haven't talked about this one at all. It's a thrash metal split between 2 bands that I am not all that familiar with. I've heard some Toxic Holocaust and even some Municipal Waste, which I wasn't that big on, but they sound really, really good on this thing. I mean, they're 2 just bands that have that very aggressive, thrashy sound that I really enjoy. I haven't been much of a metal guy this year, but what I've heard has either been a disappointment or pretty good. It's measured up pretty well to me on I like this scale. These are 2 bands that deliver really hard-hitting riffs, some really aggressive vocals, and some really good, thick, thrashy sound that has a bit of a throwback sound to it. So yeah, I definitely endorse this thing. If you want to check it out, I definitely recommend you do so. It's a good grab, snag, if you can get so. And it makes me want to get more into Toxic Holocaust and Municipal Waste, regardless of the Municipal Waste that I've heard before. In at number 2 is another collab EP, Slum Danbridge, with Yelawolf and Ed Sheeran. I review this thing on my written blog, which I'll link, which is always linked below, actually. And this thing is, it's a pretty good EP. I still revisit this thing a lot. I like the collaboration of Yelawolf and Ed Sheeran more than the Yelawolf and Travis Barker one. I don't hate that one, but I'll review Yelawolf someday and I'll discuss that. But this EP, it's good. I like Ed Sheeran's vocals on it. I've heard some of his other stuff. It's alright. I like him compared with Yelawolf. He brings that kind of R&B style that Yelawolf isn't necessarily compatible with, but he goes well with it in this instance. The songs are crafted to have this style very well meshed with it, and while I'm not that big on some of the hooks, I do think that they are at least sung well, and Ed at least does a good job of contributing to the verses whenever he does. Plus, it's just good. It's got some good finger popping tunes on it. But at number one is another Tech Nine EP with Boiling Point. I friggin' love this thing. It opens with a monster of Viralrak, which has that rap rock feel, but it's done tastefully. And I say tastefully because I know a lot of people don't like rap rock. It's done in a tasteful way, and Tech is just angry on it. It's a good bring back. It's a good resurrection of sorts of his KOD style. It is amongst the KOD albums. It's split up like KOD, and it does a good job of distinguishing itself amongst those parts better than some of the other EPs that have been labeled under the KOD collection have. Definitely my favorite Tech release this year in general. It's good. It's a damn good EP. The production is great. Tech spits ferociously on it, and I'll be reviewing it sometime soon, so yay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Short video, my top 5 EPs of the year. Hopefully you enjoyed this list. Hopefully you agree. If you agree with my decisions, cool. If not, I'm sorry. It's my opinions. This is what I thought was great. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been Viralrak. You guys are good at situations, and I'll see you another day.